Evelyne, thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, I'm super excited to be here, Jill. Let's
Thank
do this.
you. Yes, let's do this. This is a new one for me. I was just telling Evelyne before I hit record that I used to just hearing my voice on podcast. But because of the topic of this conversation, it seemed really right to hit the camera button too. And so now you can see us in beautiful Technicolor. And look how boring my background looks compared to yours, Evelyne. God,
I
bloody
might have
hell.
put some thought into this,
I've got some bloody room envy now. Look at this. God.
I love that. That's a new thing, room envy.
I got room envy, yeah. I usually have life envy, food envy, mostly any sort of kind of envy, yeah.
Okay.
It's really good to have you here. And for those of you who are listening who don't know Evelyne already, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I love that. And the focus is on little, right? So I don't speak for an
A
hour
little,
just now, right?
because I like to
Yeah.
be able to tease the rest out of you.
Oh, okay, I see. So I won't just go totally naked, just strip a little of me.
Just a little hint.
Just a little taster, a little taster.
Yes.
So we had my name, it's Evelyne Brink, and I sit at the sweet spot of impact coaching, real life coaching, and feminine awakening. So what that means is most people come to me because they really want to shine in the spotlight. They want to take their business to the next level, which is being seen. Now they call it visibility, but really what we're looking for is being seen, being felt, being heard, being understood, and being recognized as the thought leader that you are. That's what people come to me for. But then the challenge is, how do I do that without losing myself, without trying to fit in a mold that's not me? Or, there might be loads of underlying issues that come up once you try to step into that spotlight. So that's where I come in, as well as working with very established leaders on going that next level further, looking at how does your instrument actually work? How can we create more resonance for you and your audience through your body and specifically your voice? How can we deepen your impact? How can we elevate your positioning? Because all that is rooted and seated in your expression. So you can learn all the business hacks in the world. The work that I then do with my clients is to bring that to life into the expressive realm. So then people can really get a great impression of who you are, but also the engagement and that love and that connection with who you are, even though they might not see you in person one-to-one. So that's the impact side of things. And then on the real life coaching piece, I'm really honored to be a personal guide to some amazing creative women who use my magic wand to propel them further in their success, but also to talk about very intimate personal things. Like I said to you before, like if you want to talk about sex, let's go there. It's a thing. And it's
I was
very
really
important to
tempted
know
to rename the entire episode, but
well, let's see what happens right at the end of this.
Who knows? Who knows?
And then that feeds into this feminine awakening piece where I speak about woman 3.0. So woman 2.0 is the independent woman, the fierce one that gets all the shit done whilst looking great. And woman 3.0 is where we are on the cusp of that's allowing yourself to be working from the yin space, from the feminine. It's not about gender, but it's from that quality of creativity, of fluidity, of receptivity, of allowing yourself to receive and to be in pleasure when you work versus the hard grind and the hustle and the traditional masculine business models. So what I do is I work with my clients on the sweet spot between those three, because I can see that really creates ultimate success, well-being, happiness, and main point, freedom. So freedom and being alive. That's what we're about here.
The thing we are all craving. That's the thing we're all chasing, right? So thank you so much for that. And I think everyone listening is now going to understand why I found it so hard to be able to pick one topic that I wanted to go into with you today, because there are so many things that you just covered off there that I would love. I mean, it means that obviously you can't only come on once, because I have this library of things that I need you to come on and talk to us about. But we did agree that today we're going to talk about, well, the title of the episode is Hiding in the Spotlight. And I kind of sneakily, with your permission, borrowed that from your TEDx talk, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to link to it in the show notes for everyone watching. I really want you. I know my audience pretty well, and I know they're going to get so much out of that talk. It is one of the best TEDx talks I've seen. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
No,
wow.
absolutely. I mean that. I really mean that. I absolutely loved it. I don't know. Maybe that's because that subject just resonated so hard with me. I think I'm the sort of person who's always talked a good talk around authenticity, and I haven't always walked the walk. For a long time, I don't think I did operate from a place of authenticity. I operated from a place of authentically wanting to be someone else. So
I love that. I love that. And you're not alone, right?
right.
I'm gonna raise my hand to that. Authentically wanting to be someone else is definitely a desire I've had as well. I've always wanted to be normal. Have you had that, Jill?
Oh,
Just want to be
always,
normal.
always,
Just want to be normal like other
always.
people.
Yeah, I just want to be normal, average. Sometimes I would have craved average, because anything that was too much or too little in me, I would demonize. And I really wanted
I
to
hear
be
you.
that middle path.
Yeah.
And I feel I have moved beyond that now. And I really think that is part of, as successful business owners, I think that's really the only time that really comes to fruition, is when you finally operate authentically as yourself. And I truly believe that. So that's why this was it resonated with me so much. And I wondered if you could just share with the listeners and the viewers a little bit about that, what you mean by hiding in the spotlight, how you came to kind of think about that phrase. Because I know it was a personal experience for you, that you did this, you hid in the spotlight very literally.
Oh, yes and no, right? So yes, I will let me iterate what I mean by that, and even more importantly, hopefully help your listeners and viewers of this episode shed a few skins so that you can be more free and more happy to show yourselves, because it comes down to
Please
feeling
do.
safe. Right? It does come down to feeling safe. And when we're not safe, we have to protect ourselves. And that's why we become what we then judge as inauthentic. Nobody is really ever inauthentic on purpose. And we all talk about wanting to be authentic and being authentic. And it's one of these overused words you kind of want to just cross out, because it doesn't say anything, but it means so much. So I'm almost tempted to go back just a little bit to let people know why I know about this subject so much, but I guess that'll go in. So I've been coaching for over 20 years now, but before then and throughout then as well, I've been an entertainer. So I come from the world of singing, dancing, and acting. And in acting, we talk a lot about authenticity, because when you play a character, believe it or not, you need to be that character. You need to be authentically someone else. So that is also a thing, right? As an actor, you let another character flow through you, and you make that person believable in that moment. That's not a sin. That's not you being fake. That's you being a really good actor. And then sometimes people say, oh, you're just acting. What do you mean just acting? Because a devoted actor will open up their body as a vessel and let this other personality come through. So what is authentic now? What is faking it? I love that it's way more nuanced than most people ever dare to think about. So I've been in entertainment from the age of 5. That's when I had my first theater and TV appearance. And I played in a national theater at 13. I mean, I was always going to be this acting kind of person. And then I became most known as Europe's #1 Madonna impersonator, as seen on TV. And I traveled the globe impersonating the Queen of Pop, as you do.
As you do. I mean,
As
this
you
is normal,
do.
right? Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah,
normal. It's just another day in the office. It's
exactly.
it's funny now saying it like that, because that was what I did. But I'm a woman now, but I grew up in a city called Mainz in Germany. It's small. So for me to, like, who do you think you are to do the Queen of Pop oh, I know who I am. I'm somebody who didn't charge their computer and whose battery's going to run out. So let me just plug it in. How typical is that? Oh my God.
Well, here's the thing. This is as real as it gets, right? I mean, I just don't even feel we should edit this out. This
Oh,
is
no,
what
no, no. Leave
actually
that in.
happens in real life. Thank you very
That's
much.
what
Also,
happened.
while if Evelyn just plugged that back in, I will share with her my Madonna story. And that is
Oh,
that
go on then.
my friend and I, every Friday night, used to kneel on her bed with a mirror in front of us, do our full Madonna makeup, massive cross earrings, draw on the mole on our faces, at which point we would then strut down to the village, which was our night out, just hoping that some boys might be hanging about outside the corner shop. Basically, that was our Madonna outing, just to go and hang out in the village.
Yeah.
We were hot.
Cool. Did
Yeah.
it work? I mean, did the boys?
Of course. I mean,
Of
who would
course, they loved
resist
it.
two very, very awful Madonna impersonators? we were not good. I've seen pictures of you. You're good.
Thank you.
You're
And also
welcome.
that also took work, right? Nobody's born a great Madonna impersonator. Let me tell you that
Right.
much. I have pictures of myself that will, yeah, that are cringeworthy. In fact, if you want to Google my name, I've left everything up there. There's some terrible videos of me, and
I love
so
it.
it takes time to finesse the act. Now, let's get to the point of what we're talking about. So I'm going to derive some of my credibility from the world of acting and impersonating, and others from the world of coaching, in which I've been involved for over 20 years, so that everybody can feel safe. We're not just talking. I've not just done a weekend course and now I like to talk about being real.
Right.
Sometimes I'd like to say that, there's so many coaches, and people think that because they spend a weekend self-pleasuring in a rice field in Bali, that they can sort other people's lives out. They might be right, and I am probably jealous of that, but there is also a little bit more to our craft. So it's important to sometimes mention that some of us
I
have actually learned
completely
this stuff.
agree. And I'm grateful that you did that, because it's really important to me that my audience is assured that the guests who come on this show are people they can trust and feel safe with.
Yeah,
That's really important to me. So thank you for that.
pleasure. And I will, the rice field in Bali, I think it's very tempting.
Can I
I
just
love
say, I
that.
bloody love that example that you
It's
just
a good
gave.
example, right? Doesn't it
Yeah, it's
feel
a
good?
great example.
By sunset, that's the idea.
Yeah,
Anyway,
sounds good.
let's go back to Madonna, which is very similar to that, really, just involving cones.
Yeah, just more cones.
Just more cones. Um, so as a Madonna impersonator, my job was to be more Madonna and less Evelyne. And I developed this beautiful, it's not a split personality, but it is in NLP, they'll call it modeling. So you have someone successful that you model yourself on. So you can ask yourself, what would Madonna do? And she would go for a run. Evelyne wouldn't. But then this whole entity, Evelyne, would go for a run because I would do Madonna shows and I needed to be fit and I needed to build my strength and all that good stuff. And then on stage, of course, I learned to emulate her voice and her movements. So you could say, you're trying to be someone else. You're trying not to be yourself. But then what you will learn in that is that it's very relative and very, what does that even mean to be yourself? Because it's not as fixed as people assume.
Right.
Like if you read any spiritual texts, you will find a place where it says there is no such thing as the self. So if on the deep level there isn't a thing as a self, what am I trying to be? Funny,
Mm.
right? But that also gives me the freedom to channel anything that I want. So that's one way of seeing it. The other way is, well, actually, we all have personality traits, things that feel more true to us, and we usually base them on what we love and what gets our energy and our life force going. And that's what I define as your self, the stuff that keeps you and makes you come alive. So that's my definition here. So with that in mind, I found out that when I did Madonna shows, I did okay. I became quite good at it. And then there was a moment where I got bored. I get bored really easily. And I had enough of pretending to be Madonna. And so what I did was the revolutionary act of not trying to be Madonna anymore
Yeah.
and just do me as a pop star in a Madonna outfit.
let's take a minute, because that couldn't really be more revolutionary, could it? Because there's an expectation that your number one job is to impersonate Madonna. It's to be as much like her as you can possibly be.
Yeah.
So what happened? Because that's the expectation everyone would have had, was
It
to
is. And
not to see Evelyne, but to see Madonna.
that's what they're paying for.
Yeah.
They're paying to see Madonna, not to see
Yeah.
Evelyne. And I went on this TV show in France where there were lots of tribute acts, and we were all hanging out in this massive green room. And you see Britney and Michael Jackson and Robin Williams, and we're all in front of the mirror looking at each other. And Britney is, looking at ah, ah, and judging herself on all the bits that weren't actually Britney. And Michael Jackson too. And like we all look in the mirror and we judge the parts that aren't as the other person that we want to be. And
Wow.
I thought that's crazy. And I can see how unhealthy this can become. I don't want to be like that. I really I want to be myself. But I'm also, there is things that are very similar to Madonna, which is how the whole thing got started. So here's what happened when I did that. And I allowed myself. I mean, it really was. I felt so cheeky. I can't even tell you. So cheeky. But afterwards, people would come up to me and they said, "Oh my God, you're so like Madonna. This is insane. It's like I felt that Madonna was there. Like, wow." And I thought, isn't that interesting? So at the moment where I stopped trying to be Madonna and I allowed myself to be me in my pop star version, people thought I was even more Madonna. Why is that? I think because Madonna doesn't try to be Madonna either.
Oh my goodness.
So
And there we
when you
have it.
let yourself go, right? When you let yourself go and into this role, it was her music, it was her costume, and I just infused my whole self into it, then people get the impression of this superstar Madonna in front of them. Make sense?
That makes so much sense, because there's no distraction. That little part where some level you're slightly distracted from the performance because you're trying to emulate her.
Yes.
However
Now
many
here's the
times you've done it, I'm sure that must have still been the case. And so then to put that to one side and like you said, infuse 100% of you into the performance, I do get that. That's exactly what Madonna does. It's just her.
So here's the piece that makes it relevant for your audience. Because many people are afraid that we're hiding behind a mask. So
Right.
you step into the spotlight, you put a mask on. And step one is for me to say, listen, we all put a mask on. I had a mask on as Madonna. I had her costumes on, her makeup on. And so it's easy to say, oh, you pretended to be someone else. And I can go, yeah, I guess I did. But here's the revelation. Step two is this. The mask, your speaker persona, your messaging, you as a professional person on the stage, your mask can either be a pretense. Oh, this is me as a speaker. This is me as a professional coach. This is me as Madonna. Or it can help you set yourself free.
I
Boom, boom.
really want to know more about that. How does that even feel? Like, to have that liberation on the stage? Because that, for me, freedom is feeling completely liberated from trying to be anything. I'm really interested in that concept of people, business people, whoever, coaches, whoever you are. If you're on a stage and you're really doing your rehearsed talk, your signature speech, your keynote, and you're very conscious of how you're projecting you or the you that you've decided to design for this particular speech, that doesn't feel free. Even saying that, I'm doing this, my shoulders are getting very tight. How do we even begin to get to a place where we can free ourselves from that?
I love that question. I can see that image as well, of somebody really trying to project their designed persona. So I'm not a step-by-step kind of girl.
Okay.
Step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. Step 3. Because have you noticed that when you put out the steps, there seems to be an awful lot of steps?
Yes. And actually, if there isn't, you're probably being a little facetious in saying it's a 3-step process, or it's never a
Yeah.
3-step process,
No,
right?
there's never no.
And no one
And
wants
this
to
is
hear
why
my 27-step process for becoming
probably not. Probably not. And again, I love a bit more of a feminine business model and a feminine approach to that. It doesn't
Yeah.
all have to be steps, okay? We are so intuitive as women, and we can work with transmission of so basically imagine that you're a sponge. You can soak stuff up. That's what the idea of transmission is, a fancy word for saying, I squeeze my sponge and you soak your sponge. It's just a transfer of stuff, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
right? Let me explain transmission. So we can work with transmission. So I notice then when people, for example, work with me, they don't have to go through 100 steps, because you can copy and paste what you get, for example, from the way that I show up. You might say, hey, she's taken an awful lot of liberty here on camera to be spontaneous and to plug in her phone and her computer and to talk about being Madonna and having sex in the same sentence. That maybe I too can just allow myself to have fun with it. So it's the willingness to have fun is really, really important. The willingness to use and apply the 3 magic words for women. So there are 3 magic words that change a woman's life. I'm assuming most of your listeners and viewers are women?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. 99%.
99%. It could also work for men. So men try it and do let me know. I think this is specifically very important for women. So there's 3 magic words. There's 2 magic words for girls. As you know, the magic words are, what's the magic word for girls? They want to
The
make
magic
magic
word for
happen.
girls.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Okay. Yeah.
What's the
Oh,
magic
what's the
words?
magic words?
The magic
Of
words,
course.
please
Please
and
and
thank you.
thank you.
So that's how we grow
Okay.
up. Please and thank you. That's the magic word for girls.
Yes.
There's 3 magic words for women that shift everything. And they are at the foundation of this whole thing. No 3 steps, but 3 magic words. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you have a drum roll effect?
I wish I
Sounds
could
like
say, yes, I know how to
we
do
just
that, but I don't.
we just drum our keyboards like
Lena,
this.
put a drum roll in.
The 3 magic words for women to change their life radically and make magic happen are: fuck this shit.
Clapping effect.
Clapping effect. Clapping effect.
Fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit. And this is true. This is serious magic, because when a woman sees the restrictions and the limitations, and she's done with this feeling so restrained, trying to be this designer version of her talk, and at some point this corset wants to burst, and she goes, fuck this shit. I am here. I am alive. I don't have to earn my place in this world. I'm worthy of my success. I'm worthy of my beauty. I'm worthy of my gifts. I receive them. I accept them. I am here. And that's what I'm going to share with people, speech or not. It doesn't even matter what you say. Nobody's going to remember what you said. You're not going to remember all the things I tell you in this podcast, but you will remember the energy.
I will remember the energy. 100%. Everyone will, because as you just said that, my eyes closed. I did a deep breath and my shoulders just kind of dropped, which for me is when I'm feeling expansive. That's when I'm ready to receive. You know, and I think that's, I mean, you know, it's so overquoted, and I get that, Maya Angelou, but it's true. We don't remember what people say, but we do remember how they made us feel. That was a feeling. Yeah. Fuck this shit elicits a feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it elicits this liberation of, I don't have to. I don't have to. And then is an exhale and the bravery to step into something else. And then the rest, by all means, is training, okay? We're not going to pretend that it doesn't take some good skill and some good training to come across as this liberated speaker on stage. We're not going to pretend that. Right. There's skill involved here, right? Nobody's born this way. But But this moment of liberation is key, because otherwise all the training will just be a more polished designer version of your keynote speech. And I don't care. Nobody cares about your speech. But we've heard 1,000 speeches. Nobody cares about my speech. But what we do care deeply about is human beings sharing themselves in the world. You cannot not care when somebody becomes vulnerable with you. Like if I start sharing with you about the story with my son, and you'll see it in the TED Talk, so we're not going to ride around on it forever, but he's the first survivor of not having any small intestine. And when he was born, the doctors told us he wasn't going to live. You cannot not care when I share how difficult this was for me.
Right.
Unless you're a total sociopath, which is only one in I don't know how many.
I don't think I have many of those in my audience.
I don't think you do. So we tend to care an awful lot, especially as women. We really, really care. And so what we care about is being human and being connected. We seek connection. That's what nurtures us. That's what we care about. So our job is to create and foster connection with other humans, even when we're giving a speech. Right? Because wouldn't you agree, information exchange isn't really where it's at nowadays.
No, it's really worth nothing now. I mean, and it's getting more and more worthless. I mean, we just don't need other people to get the information from.
Exactly.
You want to know how to be other people for the connection.
Correct. So how do you be a great speaker on stage? Google it. You get your steps.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is reminding me of something that I talk about to my clients all the time. And that is that, as a coach, our job isn't to be the content we put out for our marketing. Our job isn't to be the best marketer we can be. It's not about showing off our prowess as a marketer. It's about showing how bloody good we are as a coach, because that is what will get people coming back. And I think it's powerful coaching that gets clients to sign up and stay with you, not demonstrating your prowess as a marketer to get the most reach or the most followers and all of that kind of shit. And this reminds me a little bit of that, because it's like you can have the most polished speech. Technically, that speech can be perfection. You can have read every single book on scripting a perfect speech. You can deliver it with the exact right cadence of your voice. And if that doesn't elicit a connection, just don't bother. What's the point? Right?
You say some really good things. I love it.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.
You.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It's like a little love fest.
The Mutual Congratulations Society is well and alive.
I love it. I love it.
It's important for us. So we're on the same wavelength with this, that we really want to go deeper into connection and out of this idea to be perfect or to be professional, which is another thing that really holds women back when it comes to being seen more. So a lot of women tell me that being out in the spotlight is difficult for them because they're afraid of messing it up. So what if you find out that I'm not as good as I think I am? What if you find out I'm not as intelligent? What if I get the words wrong and you think I'm stupid, or you know, then they call it imposter syndrome. And we have all these words for our insecurity. When, like you just said, that's not even what the main thing is about. Having said that, you do want a good speech. That TED Talk that I didn't just make it up.
That wasn't unscripted. I get that.
That was not unscripted. That was scripted. I love unscripted work. And I really think everybody should learn how to do scripted work too. It's part of your skill. Improvisation is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful craft. And it's learned too. Did you know that improvisers rehearse?
I did not know that.
So in improvisation, we play games. We play certain structure games. So we understand how to make those scenes up and drive a scene forward and things like that. So the structure is learned. The agility to respond is learned. And then the exact content is free in the moment.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense. You did a perfect example of that earlier, I think. Was when, I think when you were telling us about you and telling us a little bit and a little insight into your story, the beginning of your story, You then came round and said, and here's why this is important for your audience. And I think that's a perfect example of, none of that was scripted, but there was this slight structure where you just came back to, it's almost like a bear with me because this is going to make complete sense in a minute, right?
Yes.
And I think that's an example of that. And you're right. It doesn't happen completely unconsciously, I don't think.
That's true. That happens deliberately. So I have
Right.
an underlying, and so the structure, which is what I call the masculine. See, the beautiful thing about anything masculine is to hold the container for the feminine. So the masculine is like the
Yes.
riverbed, and the feminine is like the water that flows through. So I've got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of words, a lot of creativity, and then I've got some structure that hold those words in place so that it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense for everyone. And that structure was about, okay, I'm going to tell them what I want them to know, which is that I do not just one thing, but at least three. And I want to make sure that they know that they're safe with me. And then I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that they're going to get what they need. So that was like the background script. And then I let the front start talking, trusting that it'll
Yes.
come. So I'd say all this stuff. And then at the end, I loop it back around. So always good.
That's it.
Looping is a really great technique that you learn in improv and in comedy. So
Mm-hmm.
I've also done stand-up comedy, and
Which,
you
yeah,
loop
I
it
was just
right
going to
back.
say that's also your thing.
Yes. Yeah, I like it. I
I
like
want
a
to come and
challenge,
see
right?
you.
Yeah, I'm not on stage at the moment. We'll save that for a couple of
Please.
years down the line. I will,
Okay.
and there's online things, and the thing is, you can take the girl out of comedy, but you can't take the comedy out of the girl. So I make sure that when we do work, there will always be laughter.
Yes.
And at this point, I've taken
Me
myself
too.
off the comedy stage. You too, right? We love humor.
It's really important. Really important to me.
So tell me, we're talking about hiding in the spotlight. What will be a
Mm.
really, really important thing for your audience to like a nut to crack?
Yeah, a real good nut to crack. Well, here's the thing. My audience, I know, have a love-hate relationship with visibility.
Hmm.
They want to have impact. A lot of my audience want to change the world. They have big ideas. They have wild
Hmm.
visions that they want to bring to fruition. But they also have insecurity. They also have imposter syndrome. You mentioned, I think in your, or in your talk or possibly on your website that I was looking at, you mentioned this chronic culture of insecurity. And
Hmm.
I just thought, God, what a perfect way to put it. And I see that there is a chronic culture of insecurity. So I think my audience have this real kind of pulling in two directions, a craving to have impact. And for that, they want the visibility. They want the visibility because they know that is a vessel for getting their message out. It's a way that they can have the impact on the world that they want to have. It's a way for them to earn more money because the people I
Hmm.
work with, they don't just want to make an impact. They make a stand for the and, they want to make great money as well.
I love that.
And they see the visibility as part of that journey. But
Yeah.
they're so scared. They're really scared. You touched on it earlier when you said, people are scared of messing up. And I think that's the biggest thing. They're scared of putting themselves out there and being judged, ridiculed, considered less good at what they do than they thought they were.
Mm.
That's what they're scared of. It's really a lack of self-belief. And so the nut for me is, how do you really choose yourself for that level of success, that level
Mm.
of personal success? But is what I mean here. I mean, overcoming the insecurity and, doing it anyway, putting yourself out there anyway, and
Hmm.
then relaxing and seeing what happens. Because at the end of the day, none of us have a crystal ball. None of us know how a talk or a speech or anything, apart from Evelyne. Evelyne has a crystal ball. God
I don't know.
damn her. Look at her background. She's got bloody everything.
You
I
got
hate my room now.
the crystal ball.
I'm trashing my own room as soon as we stop recording.
Oh my gosh. Be kind. Be kind. I don't actually have
I
a crystal
can't.
ball, but I'm very tempted to get one because I've just had a coaching session where we talked about crystal balling versus And I encouraged my client to stop crystal balling. So we don't need it.
Right.
My crystal ball would
Because
be
we
empty.
don't need
Anyway.
it. And that's the thing, but we want it. I think a
Mm,
lot of us want a crystal ball. That's why big decisions are so hard to make, because we don't have a crystal ball. We never know, do we, whether something's the right decision or the wrong one. So we never know whether the speech we've scripted for the stage, is it the right speech? Is it going to be well received? Is it going to go down well? Is the audience going to react? We don't know any of those things before we start. So this
correct.
is a very long way of me asking you, how do we make that decision to back ourselves, to choose ourselves for the success without the crystal ball?
Ah, love that question. Ah, yes, party balloons
We're
for
off.
that. Yeah,
Thank you.
we are off. And then there's two things that instantly spring to mind for that. One is the idea of the crystal ball that I've just literally done a live on, and it's fresh on my tongue. And the other one is the deeper concept underneath. So let's go to both. You just said really accurately, and you use such good language, backing yourself, and it's hard to make a decision because we don't have a crystal ball, and we're trying to make that decision based on what's right or good for us in the future. And that's really difficult, and it mostly doesn't work. But there is another way of doing that. So as long as I'm stuck in making decision based on what the result will be, I'm crystal balling, and I'm going to be in really painful territory mentally. Versus engaging with my body and coming into integrity, into an alignment with my body, with my wild, with my animal, with my being. Imagine yourself as a wild horse, as an animal instinct. And then you can ask yourself, well, what is good for me right now? What do I actually want? Because I don't know the result of any of the decisions I'll be doing, but I am here now. So which way do I want to go? And that actually leads us to the second piece, which is the key to the whole thing of how do I back myself? How do I choose myself? When we feel unsafe, it's really difficult to do anything. And when you feel safe, you can really thrive. And this is especially important and absolutely crucial for women, because we've been made to feel, or not made to feel, but we have been unsafe for so long, and often still are in many different ways, that our nervous systems are quite activated generally.
Yeah.
They're really quickly stressed, really quickly in nervous system activation. And when you're in nervous system activation, you go into those stress modes that we all know about: fight, flight, freeze. But when it comes to trauma responses, there's also a fourth one, which is called fawning. Have you heard of that one?
No.
So
Fawning.
fawning is basically people pleasing. You're trying to
Oh,
please
fawning.
so that
Right.
you're
Yes.
fawning, so that you're safe. Yes,
Fawning. Yep.
that's the one.
Okay.
And it's
Ah.
defined as a trauma response. We could still call it a stress response, because most people that are in that level of success definitely have trauma, because you're over 15, so you probably have somewhere. So we have these four responses that then get activated. Fawning, I identify as a major thing for women. We are so much into this people pleasing, fawning, to try to be safe, that we're willing to sacrifice our integrity to ourselves like any minute
Right.
if I'm
Absolutely.
just safe.
Yeah.
So I see the root cause of the issue in not feeling safe. Okay. And therefore, how do you back yourself with all your insecurity and all your stuff? Is we're learning how to feel safe in our bodies. And we're cultivating the feeling of safety. And this is where I get to get a bit, do I get it to be a little bit clitoral for a
Yes,
moment? Okay,
please.
great. This is where it all merges. You see, it's not like
This
three
is really
different subjects.
important, I think, that
Super
we go
important.
as deep as you're willing to go with us on this, because this is really
Wonderful.
big. This is going far deeper into this subject than I
It
thought we
is.
would, and I'm really happy.
So if we go
Thank
super
you.
deep, we could go all the way to the cervix, but I wanted to stay with the clitoris just now. um, so if a female clitoris, when she feels safe and in pleasure, then she kind of unfolds. And I encourage any woman who hasn't seen that yet to get the mirror out and really, really gently touch yourself, ideally with lubrication. And you will see it when she starts swelling up and the labia unfolds. It's like an opening of a flower.
Mhm.
And the sensations accompanying that are extremely delightfully pleasurable. So I'm not just talking about getting horny and getting turned on and getting off.
Right.
I'm
Right.
talking about how the clitoris responds to very, very gentle touch. Try it.
Okay.
So it opens and unfolds, and like this little flower starts to reach a little head outwards to enjoy the pleasure. And as soon as that safety isn't there, boom, it's all done. So I love that example to explain
Mm.
how we as women thrive in pleasure. So when I can help
Mm.
a woman to feel good in herself, to feel safe in herself, and to give herself gentle strokes mentally as well. So that's kind self-talk. That's surrounding yourself with supportive people like yourself. That's going into trainings that are nurturing, not just pushing you to the next level of success now.
God,
But gosh, right?
just
When you're giving
yeah.
yourself that when you're giving yourself that gift of that nurturing sisterhood that takes you further, then like a clitoris, you will unfold like a flower, you will open towards the sun. And then it's much easier to be this self that we're talking about, to back yourself. It just is, because you're designed to be beautiful and powerful and,
Yes. Well,
all the
that is, first of all, it's just the most beautiful analogy. I love it. But also, it's such a, I think women listening are going to feel relief at that, because here's the thing, that coming back to the choosing yourself, the believing in yourself, the allowing yourself to feel safe. It's when you practice that loving, soft touch, the stroking, the mental stroking, the pleasant self-talk, the surrounding yourself with supportive people. Those are all things that anyone can do. Those are not things that you need a particular set of skills to be able to do.
Mhm.
Everyone can do those things, right?
Mhm.
And so that means then that everyone can cultivate that feeling of safety for themselves.
I think that's very true, and there's a yes and here.
Okay.
Um, many of us women have experienced what it's like when we're trying to be nice to ourselves, and then really aggressive stuff comes from the outside, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
Whether that's abusive relationships or
Mm-hmm.
just really hard knocks in life, or even women that are in a household of men where they just operate differently. You are? Yeah. So there is one thing that we keep talking about, how we cultivate this for ourselves, and we can, and anyone can do it. And you know what? It's not wrong, but it's also not the whole truth. We
Mm-hmm.
do actually, there is safety in numbers. We do actually need to change some of the systems. We can't put all the responsibility of feeling safe and good onto the individual woman,
Mm-hmm.
which is why, number one,
Okay. Okay.
masterminds are great, right? Sisterhoods are great. And then systematic change. Probably at some point, we're going to need to be political. I just heard this amazing talk this morning about the imposter syndrome and how it's just actually rooted in patriarchy and chauvinism. And so
Oh, yeah,
that's something much
absolutely.
more political that we still need to work on. We are so not done with the topic of equality and all that good stuff, right?
I think we've
So,
scratched the surface,
oh,
to be
yes,
quite
we have. Yeah.
honest.
So I want to take the pressure of any woman to have to do it by herself, because you can. You're not designed to do anything by yourself. We are designed to work intersocially, not
Really good
independent, but
point.
connected.
Really good point. But I think there's some comfort in both, isn't there? There's a
Hmm.
comfort that there doesn't need to be anything special about you or different about you to be able to cultivate some safety for yourself.
Correct.
And
Yes.
I completely agree with you that you don't have to do it yourself either.
No.
You know,
And I think your audience is, a lot of your audience is also coaches and mentors, aren't they?
yeah, a lot of my audience are coaches. They are almost, yeah, exclusively they're female business owners.
Fantastic.
And a lot of
Because I think
coaches
that
and
makes another strong
consultants.
point. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah.
How rude.
No.
Yeah.
Please go on. Oh, we
I
don't
said,
worry about things like this or that on this podcast. I don't know how many episodes I've done now. I still overtalk everyone. Poor Lena.
but she has to decide which audio to go with.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the point I wanted to make, which I'm now kind of forgetting, is
My fault.
go on. That's all right. Um, that it's encouragement for the women business owners and the coaches amongst you and the leaders amongst you. Why it's important to do what we do. Sometimes as coaches, you might think, I don't even know why I'm a coach. There's so many coaches. It's just a sea of coaches, and there's always coaches. Like, what the hell? Well, actually, we do need each other because different coaches bring different strokes to you. So Jill's quality of coaching, Jill's energy, just Jill's skill is different than mine. And yours is different than ours. And it's needed because it will resonate with a different audience. And we do all need people to help us along the way. So nobody's beautiful leadership journey is wasted here.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. And you're right. There are literally no two coaches the same because everyone has a slightly different style. Even if you're coaching around the same topic, everyone has a different style. And I think going back to what we were saying earlier about, this isn't about information. It's not about the information we give each other, particularly as coaches. It's certainly not. It's about the connection and the feelings that we bring out in each other.
Yeah. How do we help each other, set each other free? That is the big question. And then, yes, there is skills and that's all great. But it's not the big thing. And I like mentioning both because, for example, so I have a scorecard and maybe some of your audience want to take that scorecard, which is about how...
Can we link to that in the show notes,
yes,
please?
We can. How impactful are you as a speaker? And you take that scorecard and you find out how you're doing on your messaging, on your authenticity, on your authenticity messaging. What's the other one? Come on, Evelyne.
Delivery?
Impact. I forgot my own concept. That's so funny. It'll come later. You'll see it on the Venn diagram. I talk about it too much now. I forgot the third thing. Message, authenticity. Come on. Influence. There we go.
There we go.
Influence. And you get a score and you get a personalized report made from this really clever technology that we have nowadays. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So take the scorecard. It will check the boxes on different skills because some of the magic can be broken down. Right? When it comes to speaking, like, do you know how to set poses? Do you know how to be an engaging speaker? Do you know how to stay present with an audience? Do you know how to hold your eye gaze? Do you know how to get people in when they've fallen asleep? Like all these things that actually, there are some boxes that we can tick. There are skills that can be taught. So that's true, as well as underneath of that is really this willingness and ability to allow yourself to be how you are in the moment.
Yes. Allowing yourself to be how you are in the moment.
Yeah.
I think we were just mentioning this before we hit record actually about how distracting it can be trying to be someone else.
Say more.
I guess that really talks to that for me. Allowing yourself to be who you are in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Means letting go of the distractions, because when you're consciously trying to portray yourself a certain way, I think that's distracting.
Mm-hmm.
And really a thing you've mentioned a couple of times around that is that feeling into your body. Is that connected, do you think, to that? Well, I'm asking that like it's a question, it's not a question. It's a bit rhetorical. It is connected, right? So feeling into your body, relaxing. Every time you do that, I do it. I literally mirror you every time because it brings out a feeling in me of relaxation. But I guess on stage, if you can relax into your body, your feelings, the way you're feeling right now, without the distraction of consciously projecting anything.
Oh, I get it now. Yes.
Right. I don't think I explained that very well
No,
at all.
I think you explained it super well. So that to me speaks into the concept that I teach that I call energetic leadership.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, right? Ooh. So that
Energetic leadership.
energetic leadership, this is like witchcraft. This is when you get to, so this is when you develop the skill to go on a stage and lead with your energy. So that means that I am aware, not just aware of my body, but I'm so rooted in my own body, and I'm so open as the vessel of the message that I have actually got capacity to feel the room as well as myself, and I can lead you guys with my own energy. So, for example, when you said, I breathe, you breathe, that happens because I'm a strong breather, right? I do a big breathe that takes big breath that takes space. I don't just do a. You wouldn't mix and match. You wouldn't mix and match. You wouldn't match a small breath. You
No,
match a big
you're
breath
right.
because I'm leading with that breath. I'm very strongly suggesting we are now exhaling because I'm modeling it. I'm going.
And
And that
notice
creates a
how
moment.
I'm noticing how you're doing that without a glimpse of of inhibiting yourself. You're not self-conscious about that at all, as I would
Anymore.
expect. But I think, yeah, anymore. Right. So
Anymore.
I think for anyone watching or listening in, I think there's definitely something to really work towards, is losing some of those inhibitions that I'm just going to do a little breath. Because I love how uninhibited you are in the way you express
Thank you.
yourself. That's really something that I aspire to.
So that's a thing. I when I say I teach, it's not a 1, 2, 3 method, but that's what I work
Right.
on with people is how do we do that piece? And it's not really a how to. It's let's do it. Let's find out what's in the way for you. What's in the way for you from doing that? Because what is an inhibition anyway? It's a thought in your mind often that says I can't because it would be wrong because if I did this because blah 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 blah. And it's often quite deeply rooted. For example, taking up space is a big thing for women, often. Because we're told as little girls, be quiet, and we're trying to be good girls. We still grow up with that. And then at some point we think we're over it. And then we step on a stage and we find out we're not. So the idea of taking up space is really big for a lot of us. Having attention on us, grabbing attention, holding attention, it's a double-edged sword, right? It sounds great as a concept, but have you tried doing that? Oh my gosh. That means it takes what I'll call energetic capacity. What that means is your body needs to be able to hold the sensation of the tension, of the energy. If you stand on a stage and everybody's looking at you, you will have sensations in your body. Most people are not used to feeling those sensations and breathing into those sensations. So therefore, they go over capacity, then overwhelm, and they shut down to a certain degree. And so we're
That makes
practicing
sense.
relaxing into that intensity and building a capacity for that sensation. So I'm really going into the sensational, into the senses, the body, the feeling, and the energetics. And the more I can build that capacity, then the easier it is for me to then allow myself to take space, to be what they call unashamed. Or, yes,
Unapologetic.
liberated, unapologetic, all these unwords, which are wonderful. Like, why was I apologetic in the first place? But we generally are. And it's the path of mastery has no end. So I'm working on that too. Right? We teach what we most need to learn.
Yes,
I'm just in a different
absolutely.
place on my path.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
I'm really excited about this stuff because that's the deep thing, the deep stuff that I find really hard to market. I don't know how to write that on my website, that I do this deep work that changes everything. It changes how you are on stage. It changes how you're in your business. If you're able to ask for the big fees and how you're in the bedroom. I mean, that's the stuff that covers
I
that.
think you just said it really well. I think that's exactly what needs to go on your website. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. But the problem is, and I'm sure your listeners will appreciate it, when you put these big things on your website, I get that thought like, yeah, but what if I say that on my website and then I'll feel inhibited in the bedroom at some point? And then somebody might say, say it on your website. Why don't you do that and take your own medicine? So I have this thing of be careful what you
That's
say out loud.
hilarious. Yeah, it's like someone you're going to literally have sex with someone, and then they're going to send this memo afterwards saying, "I'm afraid I am having to sue you now under the Trade Descriptions Act because I was led to believe."
And you didn't have 3 orgasms, so what's wrong with you then?
So
Yeah, I'm like,
clearly,
"Ma'am,
yeah.
you weren't very good. You should have said something. I couldn't be asked. I just wanted it."
I
It's so
virtually
funny.
chewed my own arm off. I wasn't going to say anything.
We and to correct this, if this ever did happen, dear women, we do want to say something, right? And stop it. But
Absolutely.
it's a big thing. It's actually a really big thing, right? To speak up in the bed, like in intimate relationships, it's the hardest, I think. And then in professional relationships, it's the hardest, I think. And then in any other
Yeah.
relationship, almost the hardest. It's even hard for people to speak up in a restaurant when they order something and it isn't quite what they like. How many people can't even say when the waiter comes around, how's everything? They can't say, do you know what? I was actually hoping for my soup to be warmer and spicier. Do you mind taking it back and adjusting it? That's hard for most people.
Really is.
So
It really
if
is.
that is
But
hard,
again, it comes back to that taking up space, right? It
yeah,
comes back to, yeah, that's not how many women are accused of attention seeking. That is not a phrase that is often used about men.
no,
It's, and I think that's the kind of culture we've grown up in.
yeah.
That it's not good. It's not good to take up space. It's not good to draw attention to yourself.
But if you want to be visible and you want to be a thought leader and you want to be a kick-ass businesswoman, I'm not afraid, but you will need to take up a lot more
Yes.
space willingly.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Absolutely. And I think, for a lot of women listening, that motivation to have the impact that they really feel destined to have. If you are, let's face it, if you're genuine about that, if you're not just paying lip service so that you can call yourself a purpose-driven business owner, then if you really care about having impact, you're going to have to get over it, and you are going to have to really think about this. And I just think, Evelyne, you've delivered so much value today. It's blown me away, really, because I already, you said just now, you teach what you most need to learn. I'm not good at this myself. So I've learned a ton today about getting physically into my body and feeling into it, and about that positive, the self-talk, the gentle touch, the creating safety around myself and with my circle. So, I mean, yeah, I've learned so much, and I know everyone else would have had as well. And before we wrap up, can you just tell me, because you brought in a bit more of the kind of tactical in terms of, you have to be good. You have to have a good speech. You have to have those things. Otherwise, no amount of deep work is going to kind of create some successful talk from it. You have to be good at delivering it. It has to be good speech, and you've got to have the energetics right. What would you say is the one thing you would leave our listeners with, if this is something they crave, they want the visibility, they want to be on stage? What's their top non-negotiable?
I think that is the best question you can ask the listener. So I'll ping it right at you who's listening to this. What is your top non-negotiable? Don't let anyone else tell you what it is, because
Oh,
you know what yours is.
what a great answer. What a great answer. And that kind of sums up everything about authenticity, right? It won't be the same for everyone. And you need to, part of really understanding yourself and being brave enough to step out from being hidden, is about knowing what that is.
And you know a really good way to do it, because we talk a lot about bravery, and I feel it adds another layer of pressure again to a woman who's already under pressure, because we have so much desire and so
True.
much pressure. The magic recipe, me and my magic.
I love
The
your
magic
magic.
recipe is, thank you. I love it too. It's the magic recipe here is fun. If we can have fun with it all, then it's going to be so much easier. You don't have to be quite that brave. we're just going to have
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Like, this is what I loved. I love to create containers where we're having so much fun. And the next thing you know is you've done it a couple of times and it's been fun. That again creates that safety. And then you can take the next step and the next step. You don't actually have to throw yourself out to the sharks just because you want to learn how to swim. Oh, that was good, wasn't it? I just made that up.
Hey, did you just make that one up?
Yeah, I just
Write
made
that
that
one
up.
down. Write that one down. That is going to be reused. Patent it quick. Trademark it
Wait,
immediately.
trademark. You heard me saying it here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I'm
love
your
that. I love when
witness.
it happens. It just came through. I'm like, yeah,
And you're
yeah,
so right. You
yeah.
it's so true.
Ah,
Oh my goodness. I love that.
you too. This is really fun. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Oh,
Woo.
that's lovely,
Oh,
right?
Evelyne,
Yay.
it's been amazing to have you on the show today, and I've learned so much. I know my listeners will have. How can they find out more about you, reach out to you? How can you
Yeah,
help them? What shall we link them to in the notes?
I love that as a question. So first of all, thank you for getting me on. I really, really
You're
appreciate it. I
welcome.
love the way you interview as well. You're very attentive, very good at listening, very good at picking up the important points and reflecting them. So I appreciate that very,
Thank
very
you.
much. Really good. Thank you. Um, and secondly, where can people find me and find out more? I think the best way, if you liked what you heard, you like my vibe, you like my style, come and let me serve you through my newsletter. I write about once a week, sometimes new inspiration, sometimes whatever. But I love serving my community with a really high value newsletter. You get that on my website. The website is my name, evelynbrink.com. So the thing to remember is how to write it. EVELYNE BRINK, brink as in on the brink.com. On the website, there are also options for some home study programs. I've got free trainings on there for people. So if you want to get started with stuff, I give a ton away. And then I will let you know via the newsletter when we have the next opening for live offerings, for example. So I'm recreating my business right now. It's quite exciting because
Oh
when I
yeah.
work with people one to one, it's high level. It's a high investment to work with me, but it's worth it. And
I
to
have no doubt.
widen the reach and make it more possible for people, I'm
Mhm.
now creating more group opportunities and home study programs. So there will literally be something for most budgets soon. If you go on my website right now, you might go and get a little bit of take a deep breath. It's okay. Don't worry if that budget isn't there. It might be there another time. It might be there now. And you say, well, let's just jump in. But there will be offerings that are at a more mainstream market approach very soon as well. And you'll know about them from the newsletter. I'm not planning on doing these massive marketing launches because they are just so much.
No. Live
But I'll
launching
just say,
is
it's just not what we really do. So I'd
no.
rather be able to serve you regularly, like get the vibe, get the trainings, and then I'll tell you, hey, so I'm creating a new program called the Impact Amplifier, for example. That's going to be a 1 week,
Ooh.
2 hours a day affair where we're stretching your dynamic range. So that's good for everyone. If you're a coach, you want to learn
Love
how to
that.
stretch your dynamic range, right? Expression, we talk about how to do that. If you're a confident speaker, we'll take you into the spaces that you're not used to in the vulnerability and the softness approach. If you're
Yes.
a timid, shy speaker, I'm going to show you how to let some aggression out.
Mm.
And we'll just stretch everybody's range, like dial it up and dial it down and dial it left and dial it right, because we usually don't have an opportunity to do that. So we don't even know how you are as a speaker. You don't even know your voice,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because it's not the
And
same
that's
voice you
1
use
week
for your
long.
husband
It's a
and
1
children.
week container
That's going to be
for
a
that
1
one.
week, 2 hours a
Oh,
day container.
oh,
Yeah.
I
And
like
then
that. I love
you like
intensive
it?
things like that. Yeah,
Me
I
too.
don't think there's enough of that kind of thing around. And that, for my personality, that kind of thing works really well. I want a
Yeah. Like
whole
in,
week and I
out,
want to deep
do a
dive
thing.
into it.
Bam.
Yeah.
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 Sometimes I
Love
run
it.
retreats live, and then I think in the autumn we're going to do like an 8-week container again called True Impact. But because I'm a creative, like many of us, I don't want to make too many promises in the future. So come on the
Right.
newsletter, see when it's happening, and get served all along the way. Because that's for me is the importance. It's not just don't just come in and out. This is a long-term process. And if you liked
Mm.
what you heard, then be part of the movement. Like, the movement is to end the culture of chronic insecurity, and we help each other do that. So that's my welcome. And I think we're linking to the scorecard as well, right? And the TED
Yes,
Talk is on
if
my
we could.
website. So
I'm going to link to all of those in the show notes because I have a
perfect.
feeling this is going to be an incredibly popular episode. And I think people are going to want to know everything there is to know about you. They're going to be stalking
Darling,
you right, left, and center.
please, I'd love it. Stalk me. I'm also on Instagram and all the platforms, but the best place, just come on the website. You'll see there's a blog with all, you've seen it. I put all the
Yes,
blog
it's great.
articles out there.
It's really
just,
great.
I want to give, and let's nurture.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's true. Evelyne is incredibly generous. There's a ton of stuff on her website. So do head over there and have a look at that. But for now,
and hopefully
Evelyne,
I'll see some of
thank
you in
you.
the Impact Amplifier. That'd be amazing.
Well, I, for one, am really interested in that. So I have my hand up already. And I think a lot of people listening, that is going to be, it's something that I'll be talking about to my clients too, because I think it sounds, and again, that I just love this week-long container, 2 hours a day. Let's get it done, get the impact quickly.
Yeah. Cool.
I like it.
Thank you so much, Jill. I really appreciate being your guest. Is a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, I've loved it. I've loved it so much. And I hope we can tempt you back again soon.
I'm sure you can.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.